media is in meltdown mode, and it actually has been ever since November of 2016, because prior to that, they were awful. I mean, don't get me wrong, but they've been particularly panicked and unhinged ever since Donald Trump was elected president, despite their best efforts to ensure a different outcome. Oh, I could talk all about that all day long. Leading the pack of unhinged, self-obsessed camera hogs is CNN's Jim Acosta, who, let's not forget, made clear in an interview that the big problem with Trump versus the press is that the American people are just too stupid to know that the press is right. Watch.
But the problem is that people around the country don't know it's an act. They're not in on the act, and they take what he says very seriously, and they take attacks from Sean Spicer and Sarah Sanders and what they do to us on a daily basis very seriously. They don't have all their faculties in some cases. Their elevator might not hit all floors. My concern is that a journalist is going to be hurt.
Wow. Now, yesterday, Acosta, who fancies himself a poetic hero of justice, he got very upset that Sarah Huckabee Sanders did not give him the answer that he wanted during a White House press conference. And so he walked out of the press briefing in protest because it's all about him. Always. He needs his own little separate press conferences. This is his tweet. "I walked out of the end of that briefing because I am totally saddened by what just happened." Sarah Sanders was repeatedly given a chance to say the press is not the enemy, and she wouldn't do it. Shameful. The press is also having a conniption fit because one of their own, Sarah Jeong, is being held to account for her overtly blatant, just insanely racist tweets for, I don't know, over 5 years, 6 years, which came to light after it was announced that she had been hired by the New York Times as for a position on their editorial board. Now that's Sarah right there. This is a woman who said that she wants to, quote, cancel white people, and she bragged about treating old white men horribly. And so the press has circled the wagons around her with outlets like The Verge dramatically swearing allegiance to, and let's grab them smelling salts, protecting journalists from accountability. Really, I mean, ultimately, that's what they're saying. They say, quote, newsrooms must stand up to targeted campaigns of harassment. I'm sorry. Can we hold up for a second? Jeong called for the death of all white people. And when people call her out for it, they're the ones who are engaging in harassment? That's really confusing. That's like opposite day, right? But it's not Wednesday. Also, where was all of this need to protect the diversity of viewpoints and opinions when, for instance, Kevin Williamson was ousted from The Atlantic for having wrongthink, right? Now, the very same people pretending that Jeong's past opinions or vitriolic tweets shouldn't dictate her ability to have a platform, they were more than pleased with themselves for getting Williamson pushed out of a window because, again, it's only certain opinions that they want to protect. Now, case in point, I, unlike the fascistic far left, am a true lover of free speech. Free speech and I are best friends. Free speech and I, we go to Walmart and we go to the photo imaging place there and we go and get side-by-side pictures and we have the beautiful fall vignette in the background and we sit, you know, like one of these Napoleon Dynamite-esque, and we have a beautiful picture taken that we can then frame and hang in our homes for years of enjoyment. That is how much I love free speech. And see, unlike the fascist on the left, I'm being entirely consistent. I don't want Sarah Jeong fired. I so don't want her fired. Like, I would protest. I would actually join people and hold a sign that says, don't fire Sarah Jeong. Do you know why? Because I think when people show you that they're insane, crazy racists, let them. Why would you hide that? I am one of those people who always believes in letting someone fly their freak flag if they want to fly it. Let them do it. Let them show to the world who they are and what they believe in, because that means I have to talk about it less because they're showing the world what they believe in and who they are. And the New York Times, by hiring her, I mean, I don't want just the New York Times to have Sarah Jeong on their editorial board. I want Sarah Jeong's picture next to the gray lady's name right in the masthead. And maybe have some of her tweets up there as well. Maybe, how about this? I know, I'm full of ideas. I'm being so charitable today because it's Friday. But how about this? Maybe above the fold in the New York Times, maybe once a week, every Friday, maybe, let's say, just highlight one of her past tweets. You know, the ones that they're proud enough of, apparently, to put her on their editorial board. I'm completely fine with that. And give her a raise while you're at it. Show just how valuable and enriching you think racism is. Yeah, I completely support free speech and having newspapers hire the people that they want to hire because it tells you what they're all about. And I like people showing us what they're all about. I like people showing us exactly what we would be supporting if we gave them money or read their paper regularly. Now, and while some others in the press, they like Jim Acosta's brave guy routine, to go back to him for a minute. I mean, heaven forbid I do a show without him trying to get some attention, right? Even David Schuster of MSNBC. Now, I've known David, disclosure, I've known David for several years. I haven't actually seen him on television or anywhere in several years. And I give credit where it's due. Like, I'm consistent in giving credit where it's due. He even seems to have had enough. Look at what he tweeted. He said, "Hey, Jim, the job of a true journalist is not to be sad or happy by what happens in a press briefing room. It's to ask questions and report facts about what was said or not said. Your feelings and antics plus self-promotion are hurting journalism, not helping it. Enough." This is genuine clap right here. I'm actually giving it a genuine clap because I think that's an important point. I don't care who says it. I don't care if it's a progressive or a liberal or a conservative or a Republican. I have no pockets, so I don't have any dams to put in them. I don't have any to give you. I'm just glad that it was said. And it was said by someone who's a member of the media.